In this video, I'm going to show you how to set up a stop loss as well as a take profit on your long positions that are open on the Yubit futures market. If you'd like to create an account on Yubit, I left you a link in the description of this video as well as in the pinned comment down below. If you use that link when creating an account, you'll be eligible for up to 10,000 Tether and welcome rewards, as well as save 10% on all your trading fees for the lifetime of your account. You'll also be supporting my channel at no extra cost to you. This video is not financial advice and is for educational purposes only. Let's get into the video. All right, we're going to start out right here on the futures market user interface. So if you're not already in here, you can get here by coming up where it says futures, then click right here where it says USDTM perpetual. I'm currently set to Bitcoin on the daily time frame, so I'll just go ahead and demonstrate with that. So before I set up a take profit and a stop loss for a position that's already open, I'm going to have to get myself into a position. So I'm going to come over here to the order panel and I'll go ahead and just mark it into a small Bitcoin long position. I'll just go ahead and do 100 Tether. Good enough for this demonstration. Next, I'm going to come down here, click on open long, betting on the price to go up, and I'm going to click here on confirm. In position. Now to set up a take profit and a stop loss for this position, I'm going to come down here to my positions. If you don't see yours, you just click here on the positions tab. Then right over here, you're going to see a couple options. You'll see entire TPSL. That's the one I'm going to be demonstrating in this tutorial, but you'll see that there's also a partial TPSL option over here. And this is for closing just some of the trade in profit or closing some of the trade at a loss. You can also use this option to set up multiple take profits as well as multiple stop losses for de-risking if a trade is going against you. And I'm going to make a separate tutorial for that, and I'll put a link for it in the description down below. For this tutorial, we're going to focus right here on the basic entire TPSL. So we're going to click on this little plus sign right here. All right, in this box right here where it says TP trigger price is where we can choose a price point that we wish to set a take profit target. So right now I can see that Bitcoin's trading at approximately 64,000. So just for the purpose of demonstration, let's imagine I want to take profit and close my trade at 70,000. So I'm going to type that into this box right here. I'm going to go 70,000, just like this, nice and simple. Now right here, I can see Yubit is estimating how much profit I'll be earning if the price of Bitcoin comes up to 70,000 and hits my take profit. Now down in this box here is where we can set our stop loss. Let's imagine that I want to set a stop loss just below 63,000. So maybe I want to do 62,990. I'll just type it into that box right there. Now I can see what my estimated loss is going to be if this trade goes against me and the price comes down hitting 62,990. Looks good enough for this demonstration, so I'm going to come down here and click on confirm. And just like that, I added a take profit as well as a stop loss to the chart. And you can actually see it in these red boxes. In the red box up above is my take profit. You can see a little red dotted line here as well. And the red dotted line and box down below is the stop loss. So in my particular situation here, if the price of Bitcoin was to come up and hit this red dotted line right here, that is going to be triggering Yubit to close this trade at a profit. If Bitcoin continues to fall to the downside and hits this red dotted line right here at 62,990, that is going to automatically be closing my trade in a small loss. Now, if you want to quickly amend either of these, you can do that just by grabbing onto the boxes. So let's imagine I want to move my take profit up a little bit higher. Maybe I'm looking at this little stutter step and price action right here. So what I'll do is I'll come over here to the take profit box. I'm going to hold down left click over top of it. And you can see that I can easily drag it around. So let's just say I want to move it up slightly like this. I'll go ahead and do that. I'll let go of left click. And as you can see, I just amended the take profit up to 76,275. Now let's imagine that I want to move the stop loss just below this wick right here. Maybe I'm thinking to myself, it makes more sense to put the stop loss down there just in case, for whatever reason, Bitcoin was to find support right around that wick if it was to continue down. So I'm going to hold on to left click over top of the stop loss box. Let's go ahead and just drag that down below that wick. Maybe something like this. Let go of left click. Now, as you can see, I just amended the stop loss down to 58,949. Now, if you want to cancel either of these, you can easily do that by coming over to this little X inside this box right here. You can see cancel order pops up, so you can just left click on that to cancel the order, or you can come down here next to positions. You'll see where it says open orders. Give that a click. Click here where it says TPSL. And here's where you'll see the details of your take profit and your stop loss. And right over here underneath batch cancel, you'll see that there's a cancel button available to you. If you just click those, it removes them just like this. Now, as you can see, I just canceled that take profit as well as that stop loss. Now, of course, when you're setting your take profit and stop loss, choose price points that make the most sense for you. I'm just simply demonstrating how the tool works. I have no idea which coin you're trading on which time frame, so make sure do your analysis and choose price points that make the most sense for you. Now, just before I let you go, I want to show you how you can set your take profit and stop loss before you even open a position. So I'm going to go ahead and close this current position by clicking on this little X right here and confirm. And now what I'll do is I will go ahead and open a position and set the take profit and stop loss while I'm opening my position. So what I'm going to do is come back up here to the order panel. I'm just going to go ahead and use a market order for this demonstration, and I'll do the same value of 100 USDT. Now I'm going to come down here and check this little box beside TPSL. And as you can see, we now have the option to set a take profit as well as a stop loss while we're opening this position. So let's quickly head over here to the chart. And for the purpose of demonstration, let's imagine I want to go long on Bitcoin. And maybe I want to target this price structure up here as a take profit for a trade. So what I'm going to do is come over here to the drawing tools next to this trend line here. I'm going to click on this little triangle. I'm going to get a drop down here. I'm going to grab a horizontal line right here. Now I'm going to come over here to the chart. I'll go ahead and just mark an area, something like this. Now I can see a price point on the y-axis of the chart coming at 84,980, which is marking out this price structure right here, at least the bottom side of it. And maybe that's where I would like to target on a long position. So I'm going to come over here to the take profit box, and I'm going to type that price point in, which was 84,980. Now I can see what my expected profit would be if Bitcoin came up and hit that price point. So let's go ahead and set the stop loss now. So we'll come back over here to the chart, and let's just imagine for this demonstration that I want to set my stop loss just below this wick right here. So once again, I'll come back over here to the drawing tools, and I'll grab a horizontal line, and I'm going to mark a spot just below that wick, maybe something like this. Good enough for this demonstration. So now I can see on the y-axis of the chart that there's a price point at 58,857, and maybe that's where I want to set my stop loss for this long position. So I'm going to come down here to stop loss, and I'll type that in. We'll go 58,857. Now I can see what my expected loss is going to be if this trade goes against me and I get stopped out at 58,857. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here on open long, betting on the price to go up. Now we're getting our order confirmation pop-up window. And as you can see down here under TPSL, that there's going to be a take profit that's added the moment I open this position, as well as the stop loss that will be added as well. If everything looks the way you intended it, you just come down here, click on confirm. And just like that, I opened that position at the market price. And as you can see on the chart, I added my take profit in this red box right here and my stop loss in this box right here. So that's how you can add a take profit and stop loss while you're opening your position. Now, of course, if I want to cancel those, I can just click on this little X inside these boxes. So let's do the take profit, confirm, gone. Let's go ahead and do the stop loss, confirm, and gone. So that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you can set a take profit and stop loss for your position that's already open and while opening a position. And there you have it. That's how you can set up a stop loss as well as a take profit on your long position. If you got some value out of that, don't forget to leave me a like and hit subscribe for future content. Also, feel free to check out my other Yubit tutorials, which I've put together in a playlist on my YouTube channel. Have yourself a powerful day.